The lithography machine, mask aligner, is the core equipment for manufacturing chips. It uses a technology similar to photo printing to print the fine patterns on the mask onto the silicon wafer through light exposure. As of now, the chips manufactured by my country's lithography machines are 14 nanometers, but they cannot meet the application of high-end chips such as Huawei mobile phones, so they can only be imported from the Dutch company ASML. In the 1960s, my country began to develop lithography machines. At that time, the Dutch lithography machine production giant ASML had not yet been established. In 1965, the Chinese Academy of Sciences developed the Model 65 contact lithography machine. In the 1970s, the Chinese Academy of Sciences began to develop computer-aided photolithography mask technology. In 1972, Wuhan No. 3 Radio Component Factory compiled the Industry Production Guide Manufacture of Photolithography Mask. In 1980, Tsinghua University successfully developed the fourth-generation laser, with a lithography precision of 3 microns, close to the international mainstream level. However, in the 1980s, a series of military and civilian high-tech projects, including Yun-10, Z-8, long-range bombers, large guided missile destroyers, Great Wall/Chugwang large-scale computer projects, and digital welding systems, were discontinued. At that time, Wuhan No. 3 Radio Components Factory had already accumulated more than 20 years of technology accumulation in the lithography machine project in the scientific research of lithography machines, and it was possible to realize the process from quantitative change to qualitative change. However, without the support of national funds, everything became empty talk. The idea in the 1980s was that we should not spend such a large amount of effort, and let everyone get rich for a while by building is worse than buying, and buying is worse than renting. This cannot be completely wrong. After all, we cannot look at problems in isolation from the background of the times. However, it is definitely wrong to dismantle all high-tech across the board. This is tantamount to completely man-made for the knife, eye for the fish in future competition, and hand over all possible advantages to others. We can only hope that the developed countries will always conscience discover. This is fundamentally an opportunistic route. April 12th counter-revolutionary coup. Left opportunism, or eager for success, exaggerates the subjective strength of the revolution, underestimates the strength of the enemy and objective difficulties, and takes blind and risky actions in the revolution and construction, or confuses two types of contradictions of different nature within the revolutionary organization, and adopts a policy of brutal struggle and merciless strikes, or a closed-door doctrine on the issue of the Allied forces, to overthrow everything. Right-leaning opportunism means pinning hope on others and wanting to win. Left-leaning opportunism means disregarding objective reality, thinking that I am the protagonist of Long Aotian, and I can win by doing what I want. From a higher level, opportunism is a kind of idealism. It is divorced from objective reality and does not respect objective laws, so it will naturally not have the vitality and combat effectiveness of materialism. Opportunism is not really the right way. What is not opportunism? For example, the little-known April 3rd plan. After the Sino-Soviet feud, in order for us to keep up with the pace of technological progress in the world, we used our precious foreign exchange to import large-scale complete sets of technical equipment from Western countries such as the United States, Federal Germany, France, Japan, the Netherlands, Switzerland, and Italy. The fourth and third plans successively built 26 large-scale industrial projects, with a total investment of about 20 billion yuan. The old version of People's Education history textbooks used this sentence when evaluating the significance of the fourth and third plans. It became an important foundation for China's economic development in the 1980s. Later, after implementing the line of building is worse than buying, and buying is worse than renting, the idea of 555 in the 4-3 plan, must buy core technologies, was naturally shelved. Chairman Mao Zedong also criticized the policy of building is worse than buying, and buying is worse than renting. Chairman Mao said, no matter how expensive the shipbuilding is, the currency has not flowed out. It is just that the money has been put into the right pocket from the left pocket, and the meat has rotted in the pot. No matter how cheap it is to buy a ship, you have to pay foreigners, and the currency has flowed out. The account will be lost. Under certain circumstances, it is reasonable to say that buying is worse than building, and renting is worse than buying. Let's get this done first. But as mentioned above, this is a matter of opportunism. When there is an opportunity, it will succeed, and when there is no opportunity, it will fail. Old revolutionaries like Chairman Mao's generation have a relatively high level. Instead of lending money for the future, they tighten their belts and give savings to their children and grandchildren. For example, the atomic bomb must be built while saving money. At that time, someone in the central government said that if the country is not rich, the atomic bomb should not be carried out. Marshal Chen Yi clearly opposed it, saying that an atomic bomb should be made if you are a trousers. Lin Sanhu said that the atomic bomb should be burned if you burn it with firewood. In the end, Chairman Mao made the final decision. We independently developed the atomic bomb and the hydrogen bomb. Since then, hundreds of millions of Chinese people no longer live under the nuclear shadow and nuclear blackmail of a big country. Chairman Mao and his generation of old revolutionaries are too great, and their ideological realm is really different. If they can solve it in this generation, they will definitely solve it. Solve. Never loan a little money to future generations, and even save a lot of assets, so that we can benefit endlessly so far. Look at the post-disintegration of the Soviet Union, once a great country in science and technology, now can only rely on selling resources to survive, with a depressed economy and relying on others. As the saying goes, Qin people have no time to mourn for themselves, and later generations mourn.